Hi everyone, Monique here, Intuitive Soul Savant. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, just read in the description box what I'm about, and you can pop into the playlists for some relative videos on the Pluto transit and other aspects of challenging transits from Pluto. So guys, I didn't really feel like making a video this morning or for the last week. I've felt very heavy and very emotional, and I'm sure that many of you out there are as well. So I've pushed myself to make this video because if I'm feeling this way, I have deep compassion for others that are going through these energy changes, and they are very intense. We have a full moon in Pisces conjunct Saturn in 48 hours, and we also have Mercury retrograde opposing, not exactly, that full moon in Virgo, and that polarity is our spiritual polarity and our service to humanity polarity, a different type of service than the Aquarian service to humanity. The Virgo is an earth sign, so it's very much practical service to humanity, and the full moon in Pisces is dreamy, illusionary, and ethereal, spiritual. So there is a conflict in what we practically want to do and how we are feeling about doing those things. Venus is also retrograde in Leo, and it will be standing still on the 3rd, ready to go forward, but it will be hovering over those 12 degrees Leo for a week or so. We've had other transits that have been very intense, and really, you know, we're all feeling it, so you are not alone. And that's probably my purpose for making this video today, is to remind you that you aren't alone, and I am struggling. And the one point that I do want to make is, in my Pluto videos, I have said it's not over till it's over, and I tell you, it ain't over until it's over. Now, Pluto in Capricorn is retrograding. It's at 28 degrees Capricorn. Now, my natal sun, as I've mentioned before, is 26 degrees 50 minutes in Capricorn. Now, this retrograde will not come back to exactly conjunct my natal sun. However, I'm feeling the energy as if it is. I'm feeling the energy the same as I did for the first exact conjunction, the second exact conjunction, and the third exact conjunction. So this is like a fourth, and there was probably a I'm just so used to being in this energy for 15 years, you know. So previous to when I started this YouTube channel, I was just in hell, you know. There was no light whatsoever. So that's the energy that I was operating in, you know, for 15 years. And well, since 2008, you know, and actually 2007, I could feel it coming on then. So it isn't over until it's over. Now, when Pluto went into Aquarius early in the year, just for that short period of time, you know, I started making rebirth videos, didn't I? And then it's retrograded back into Capricorn, and I feel like I'm back where I was, but different. Now, what I want to also say, guys, humanity has only been studying Pluto for 200 years. It's what's called a modern planet, because it wasn't discovered until 200 years ago. All of the personal planets, you know, we go back to ancient astrology. So the consciousness of humanity has a better understanding of the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, okay? So the outer planets, as we also call them, they're new energies that humanity are becoming conscious of. So this video, blog, YouTube channel, whatever I'm doing here, because at the moment I really don't know what I'm doing, the whole energy for everything is just sort of dropped because there's been no action, there's been no response from the universe back to me. Readings have sort of slowed down. I haven't been making videos, and there's a confusion again. I'm back in confusion. Is this my right path? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't have energy to do this. I'm not finding the joy in this. Wow. It's confusing because we have a full moon in Pisces, which is illusionary. It's confusing energy. Pisces energy can be confusing. And the Pluto, the Pisces Virgo axis also brings up, and Saturn in Pisces, is addiction issues. So, you know, food and anything to try to soothe ourselves from these heavy energies is something that we may be reaching out for, battling in our minds and what have you. You are not alone. So back to Pluto. So this is an experimental channel. Yes, there's books out there about Pluto, but I'm trying to bring a perspective here of actually what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. Now, I know I have a hardcore chart. You know I have a hardcore chart. So not everybody is going to be feeling the intensity. However, I'm not alone. Some of the charts that have been brought to me through this channel, wow, they're intense as well. And I take my hat off to my clients because, wow, you know, I see the challenges that they have in their chart as younger generation, because my clients seem to be a lot younger than myself. So it's a different Pluto generation. You know, I was born in the Pluto in Virgo, and that's another reason why I'm struggling, because Mercury went retrograde at 21 degrees Virgo. Well, in my tropical chart, Pluto is at 18 degrees of Virgo. So Mercury has already passed Pluto, natal Pluto, back over natal Pluto, and conjunct Uranus, back over, forward again. So I've got to be honest, you know, like even with your comments, it just gets so tiring. It really, really does. This Pluto energy is intense. It's so intense when it's really, you know, fully focused on the energies of your chart and the transformation and the rebirth and old patterns, you know, old patterns. It's very hard. It's very hard to evolve and transform and rebirth beyond the very dysfunctional patterns that I was born into, dysfunctional family. So, you know, the mind, you know, I have a Mercury in Capricorn in the 6th house, Virgo's house of critical thinking. You know, so the mind is the last frontier for humanity, not space. We've already seemed to, you know, get our hands into space, but the mind is the last frontier of humanity. And from the mind come our feelings and our emotions. And that brings me back to this full moon. Virgo is hypercritical, which works in favor for them when it's needed, when that focus is needed. However, too much hypercritical, and we actually traumatize ourselves by our own mind. And that's what I'm very aware of. And the polarity with Saturn in Pisces, I have Saturn in Pisces. It's a return of Saturn. Now, this brings me back to the video I made about Pluto's minions. Pluto doesn't work alone. There's all these other aspects in your chart that Pluto is using to transform you. And this is why reading is so important, so that an astrologer can look at all of those other parts of your chart, and Pluto's the transformer, and Pluto's goal will be to overcome the challenges and challenging aspects in your chart, so that you can grow and become your true potential. So I feel like I'm on a soapbox at the moment, or I'm preaching or what have you, when my main intention for making this video was to touch base with you all again, let you know I haven't run off. You know, creatively, Venus retrograde. I have Venus retrograde at birth in Aquarius, and Venus is retrograding in Leo. So it's opposing my natal Venus creativity. And yeah, I'm struggling at the moment. I've been waking up crying every morning from sleep, you know, so that's energy, that's still grief being moved through my body for no other reason other than the impatience of the Capricorn wanting to get going. I just want to get going. I want consistency in making videos. I'm needing that energy for it, and I'm needing the okay from the universe. I'm in a numerological year 7, so you know, I know that's well, we're in a global year 7. Go within. Numerologically, we go within. Next year's when we really start making things happen, in an 8 year. 8 rules Capricorn energy, so that's when we get hard working at it next year. You know, but while we're riding this wave at the moment, it isn't easy, and you're not alone. And if you're waking up crying every morning too, it's just the body releasing, you know. But it is important. Number one, and I made a video about the grief. We can't ride the grief. We can't. We've got to become aware of the thoughts that we're having, because there'll be a throw up from the bowels of the sewage of our patterns. Do you know what I mean? And so those thoughts aren't real. I've said that before. They're not the truth. However, if we don't catch ourselves, we can run with those thoughts, and then we're traumatized again. We have traumatized our own self with the past, because those thoughts are past thoughts. And I suffer from these really negative past thoughts because of all the loss. With Pluto hard aspect transits come a lot of loss, and the loss is incredible. And what I mean by that is you just stand there and you cannot believe you're powerless to everything that you're losing. So what's happening for me is, as far as faith and hope goes, my mind is, and my inner child, second chakra, is still nervous that I'm going to lose everything again, or that I'm a failure and there is no success for me. I mean, the mind can just make up terribly horrible stories, depending on the parenting you had. If you had parents that were cruel and abusive and nasty, you know, that can be a way that we treat ourselves. We speak to ourselves that way until we can overcome and catch those thoughts as quick as possible and go back into the heart, because in the heart there's none of that negativity. It's pure joy, pure love, pure happiness in the heart. However, if we allow our mind to take off, Mercury's retrograde in Virgo, it's critical. It's very critical. And we need to catch those thoughts. That's really, really important at the moment, while Mercury's retrograde in Virgo, and we have this full moon in Pisces. You know, the victim, the Vicky, the victim, you know, both those polarities. So be gentle. That's all I'm doing. I'm sunbaking every day. I'm not doing too much, because for me to do too much would be to disassociate from the process that I'm in at the moment. So it's not over till it's over. It just keeps going on. Pluto is the transformer, and it doesn't stop until it stops. And I don't even know, that's what I'm here sort of sharing with you, and will continue to share with you, as more wisdom comes to me regarding this Pluto transit. Okay, so Saturn with the full moon, heavy, just self-love. That's what we all need to tune into: self-love, self-compassion, gentleness. If you're not feeling like it, don't do it. Be gentle with yourself. And this polarity will also show you where you're obligated. I have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You are sovereign. You rule the roost. No other soul really should have that power over you. But anyway, I've raved on. Big hugs to you all, because I really do know how the energy is out there, and I haven't run away, even though I haven't made a video for a bit. I'm still here processing and learning and loving on myself. All right. So I love you all. Namaste. Big hugs out there to you. Really big hugs. I send my love out through my heart chakra. Okay, guys. I'll speak to you soon.